just start off really quick. Where are you at with your business? How much money are you making as of last month?
Yeah, so last month I did 23,000 for the month, which was my biggest month so far since starting.
I love it, dude. So $23,000. That ain't bad, bro. I freaking love that, dude. Imagine when you first started this business. I'm not sure if I remember exactly what you were doing, but imagine if somebody would have told you you'd make $20,000 a month one day, you'd be like, yeah, it's probably possible, but not me, dude. There's no way. That seems like way too much. That seems way too crazy, right? Like it's insane.
Yeah, definitely. I've done all of this. I'm actually still working full time on top of it. I'm a purchasing manager for a telecommunications company. So I do that on top of all of this. And to be able to get that far, if I was doing this full time, the sky's the limit, And really, I've made a lot of improvements and moving forward this year. I've sent a lot of clients so far this year compared to last year.
The thing that's interesting about your story, dude, is you have been in the game for a minute. And although you were making some money, you're more like I was, where there was some struggling in the beginning. There was some trying to figure this out, trying to figure out that. How long did it take you to get to that 10K mark?
Well, it depends on how you look at it, because I started in 2019 technically with JK. So when I started in 2019, and to get started, I took out a loan in order to even get into it, which is kind of what I posted the other day, is about putting your back against the wall. And like after I started with JK, I went really hard. The problem with that process though is I built all these websites, but at one point I had 48 websites and I had no paying clients. So I was just taking a loss month in, month out. So by the time I actually got to 10K a month, technically I was at about $9,000, and that was from organic leads in 2020. That's what I was hitting per month. And then last year is when I really hit the 10K mark.
Love it, dude.
So, and that was really all from going through your process. I mean, this process is by far the best process out of anything. And one thing that I've done is I've learned a lot about SEO. I never realized it's all about sales. If you're not selling anything, you're not making any money. I don't care how smart you are with SEO and all this stuff and learning how to build WordPress websites and all this. It's not going to be money if you're not selling to someone.
So to clarify, you're saying that it might not be a great idea to just build 100 websites like I did and hope that they sell. Look, guys, I understand where people are coming from when they say go build websites, because you need to have websites to sell, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? Not when you can pre-sell them. That's when that whole game changed,
exactly.
Right? Because if you can pre-sell, you don't actually. You know what it is? Like back in the day with, let's say, clothing companies, right? You had to have a stock of inventory, right? Because once you ran out of t-shirts, you were screwed. And then even if people wanted to give you money, they couldn't, right? That was what people would say. But then along came something called drop shipping, where you could literally just order, and it's basically print on demand, and you didn't have to keep any inventory. They can just order and it goes right out to them. It's the same thing. You no longer need inventory sitting there accruing monthly costs, especially when you don't even know if it's going to rank. Even if it ranks, you don't know if it's going to produce leads. Even if it produces leads, you don't know if there's going to be a business owner that even wants those leads. So anyway, guys, I've been preaching this for years, and I think people are just think I'm trying to, put a plug for my process. It's like, guys, if I told you could use somebody else's money to buy a home and still make a profit, or you could use your own cash and you would have to wait 6 months before you could even think about renting it out, which one would you choose? And don't give me some dumbass answer. Every single one of you guys would choose to use someone else's money. It's a no-brainer. So I went through a similar thing, dude. I built and I built and I built, and I thought the answer was just, I got to build more. I got to build more. I know that Jerry Ward, he built 800 websites because he took the same advice. 800 websites, dude. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, just the time alone to be able to build that many websites. I'm a very aggressive person. So when I started, I do still believe in shoes on the shelf. Have more shoes on the shelf, more opportunities. But instead of doing it that way, where you're sitting and waiting on it, is pre-selling. Have those shoes on the shelf where they're only on the shelf for a week, right? Compared to putting inventory on the shelf that just sits there for months and months and months and might never even sell, and then you throw the inventory in the garbage.
It's almost like instead of having clothing on racks sitting in collecting dust, you have 4 or 5 products on a website that people can then choose from and order immediately. It's the difference, right? You don't have to sit there and accrue the costs and pay for the inventory. So if you guys are even semi-intelligent, you can see that there is no reason that you should be waiting on websites to rank. That is what we would call the wheelchair method. That's what MJ DeMarco talks about when he says the slow lane. That's the slow lane, dude. That's the rowboat versus the McGregor Lamborghini yacht. So if you like going slow, then that's fine.